Hello and welcome back to the Plague Tournament. So we have reached round 2 and this is the feature table B. So let's take a look at the decks. And here is the first deck. Player name is Jimmy, and this robot deck is pretty spicy. So you have the usual suspect with the Suchi and the Triskelion and the copy artifacts, but for Twiddle, what is this? And there's a time vault, and there are transmute artifacts, 2 of those. So you can sacrifice an artifact to search for another artifact and put it into play. So he can pretty much attack like a regular robot deck, but he has a trick. He can find a time vault and casting a Twiddle a couple of turns and taking a bunch of extra turns. So that is nice. Also, since he has transmute, he have a main deck seed in a bottle and some relic barriers. So yeah, cool deck. And let's take a look at his opponent. Their name is Erik, and he called his black 2-card combo. So you can see the classic combo with Royal Assassin and Icy Manipulator. It can't be any more classic than that. So the Icy taps down a permanent, and the Royal Assassin kills it. Another combo is the Ivory Tower. You gain life for if you have many cards in hand, and in Greed you can draw extra cards. And then Never's Disc and Willow. Willow can regenerate and survive a disc activation. And there are of course a bunch of good black creatures and some sinkholes and 2 maces. So yeah, really nice. Okay, so that's the 2 decks. Let's get down to the match. Okay, game 1. Jimmy to the left and Erik to the right. Jimmy has a really fast opening with a Island Lotus Suchi, but Erik has the perfect response, a Mace of It. And here comes a Relic Barrier. That's a 2 mana artifact. You can tap it to tap an artifact. That is a really good card against many decks, but not Erik's. He can of course tap factories, so that is something. A red Mox. Ooh. And there is the time vault, so it comes into play tapped, and you have to skip a turn to untap it, and when it's untapped you can tap it to take another turn. And once again, if you have to untap it, if you want to untap it, you have to skip a turn. There's a Mind Twist for 2. Okay, a Chaos Orb. Yeah, that's a hit. And an attack for 4. Four mana for a disc. Ooh, that's a fantastic solution. Ooh, almost untapped that time vault. It's so easy when you're used to untapping everything, but it's kind of important not to untap time vault. So there was a Time Twister. We just skipped ahead a bit. Who wants to see shuffling? Now there is a Twiddle in Jimmy's hand. Yes, so he used the Twiddle to untap the time vault. So now we can take an extra turn after this. Tapping 2 mana. Ooh, for a Chaos Orb. That is perfect because he has to get rid of that disc. Really unfortunate for Erik that Jimmy got the Chaos Orb. And now there is 2 Chaos Orbs. copy artifact, making a copy. So let's see if you can hit it again. Yeah, good hit. Attack for 4 again. Erik is down to 8. It doesn't look good. Jimmy still have a Chaos Orb left. Oh, there's a Willow. That's a good answer for the Suchi. And a Spectre. Okay, so Erik have just 1 mana untapped, so if Jimmy attacks with his Suchi and Erik block with Willow and regenerate it, Jimmy can use the Chaos Orb to get rid of it. So let's see, here's a Sage. Sage is really good in these artifact decks. You can tap him and sacrifice an artifact to draw a card, and you can do that in response to an artifact being destroyed, for example, or just those relic barriers. They're pretty useless here, so you can start sacrificing those to get some more cards. And here is a Triskelion. So a lot of ways to get rid of that Willow. And shoot it again, and boom, it's dead. Down to 4. And pass the turn. I don't think there's anything Erik can draw here. Okay, so he scoops, and this is game 2. Jimmy won the first game, and Erik is on the play. Looks like Jimmy is mulliganing to 6. Ooh. Library on the play. And there's a Time Vault from Jimmy. Okay, so we have a library game. Okay, a Twiddle. Oh wow, 2 Twiddles. So he played it pretty quick, but each time he tapped his Time Vault to get an extra turn. So now we can take 2 more turns. So that's pretty broken. Yeah, that's a deal. When you're playing against an active library, you really have to try to finish the game. So that's smart. So sacrifice casting transmute artifacts. So he sacrifice 2 mana artifacts and he paid 2 more. So then he can find an artifact for 4 mana. So he'll find another Suchi. Maximum pressure. So 7 up to 8 cards. And okay, that is something. An Ivory Tower. So we can gain 3 life each turn, but 2 Suchis, they're moving fast. So it goes from 8 to 11 because of that Ivory Tower. Drawing with the library up to 8 cards. Tapping 2 mana for Chaos Orb. Chaos Orb activation. Ooh, boom. Very nice. It's down to 7. And Jimmy doesn't play anything. And there is a maze. Okay, that's a good solution. 8 cards in his hand. Life's good. Stable. Here's a Hypnotic. Pass the turn. Oh wow, control magic. And of course, once in a while, you have to test if your opponent is awake. Try to attack into a maze. It's very fun when they forget it. Ooh, here comes all the black classics. Hypnotics, and here are Beta, Royal Assassin. So nice. It's so nice that Jimmy can't, you just have to steal it. Yeah, there's still an active library. Yeah, 2 control magics, that's pretty sweet. Okay, Sanger. Very nice. So looks like Jimmy has some kind of a decision. Okay, Chaos Orb. Okay, I guess you have to try to take out that Sanger. Because then, yeah. That's the relic barrier, and here's the Chaos Orb. Let's do a slow-mo, and you can see it was only a half turn, so it fails. In normal speed, it looks like it was a whole round, but they didn't remove the Sanger, so I said, okay, I have to go back and slow it down, and they was correct. Here's an Underworld Dreams. The Sanger is still alive, and the Ivory Tower gaining life. Erik is up to 18 now, just getting all the value from that library. And here's a Greed and another Ivory Tower. And then Jimmy have had enough. So game 3. Ooh. In Erik's upkeep, Jimmy casts Ancestral, drawing 3 cards, and that's a smart play because then he doesn't have to discard down to 7. Okay, Holding Mine. Tower, yeah. Ooh, and another Holding Mine. Okay, it's going to be interesting to see if Erik have any Underworld Dreams in his hand. He has 2 mana now, so next turn, if you have a swamp, he can play it out. That's going to be very painful for Jimmy here. Oh wow, a third Holding Mine. He could also have made a copy of that Ivory Tower or a Mox, but oh wow, and here is. Oh, that's painful. That's 3 damage for each every turn, because Jimmy now draw 3 cards. You really need a way to get some life. I think there's another copy in Jimmy's hand, so we can probably make a copy of the Ivory Tower. But or it just needs some big robots to finish the game. copy on the ivory tower. And just pass the turn. Erik is at 25 now. Oh yeah. 2 underworld dreams. Wow, that's brutal. That's 6 damage in Jimmy's draw step. So first there is an ivory tower. So he's down to 10. Maybe he gained 1 life with that ivory tower, because I think he was at 15, so it should be 9, but should probably shortcut it with the ivory tower. And here's a Triskelion. Do some breeding. It's so annoying when you have triple holding mines. Oh yeah, there's 4 cards now. Yeah, never mind. So it's 8 cards, 8 damage. Dang it. But I don't want to record all over just because I said it was drawing 3 cards and taking 6 damage. And there's a mind twist. So now Jimmy doesn't get any life from the ivory tower. It's down to 2. I don't think there's anything he can do here. Kind of hard to get rid of enchantments in old school. Taking a last glance at his hand, and there's a handshake, and it's over. So Erik won 2-1. So yeah, that was a great match. Yeah, anything else I wanted to say? I don't know. As always, you should like this video and subscribe and make a comment and all that. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.